Yeah, let's just get this. We're already half hour late. Let's get the fucking show on the road. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Oh, my. Are you ready, Sco?
I don't know, man.
Are you ready, Gord?
Twisted.
I'm around.
We're here. We got this far. This is a good start.
Is that your preferred moniker? Like when people aren't calling you like cunt or asshole, do they usually call you Gord?
I do prefer Gord as opposed to Gordy or Gordon, although I'm getting more used to Gordy.
Interesting. All right, I'm gonna stick to Gord then.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
All
right, ready? You guys ready for this? I'm gonna nail this intro in one go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Josh, and welcome to episode 140 of the Chanarant Podcast. With me, as always, is my bearded co-host, Mr. Andy Fuco.
That's me.
And if you didn't know, I'm here to let you know that this is an explicit fucking podcast. So go ahead and cover your ears, hide your kids, hide your wives, because we're about to count down. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck! Fuck you, internet! Fuck you, technology! Fuck you, Andy's computer! Fuck the fucking dock! Fuck the fucking cables!
Notice Josh didn't fuck his computer, which fucked us in the first place months ago. Or his knowledge to fix things.
Listeners can review the show on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Google, Spotify, etc. And please subscribe. If you send us a review, we'll send you a sticker. Just screenshot that to chanarant.com, chanarant@gmail.com. You can like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or if you're Australian, Snapchat. You can join the Chanarant Discord. That link, all you got to do is message us for. Check out the Chanarant store at chanarant.com.
Jeez, is that all of them?
We got so many things, Fusco. We've got the, Get Paradiddled shirt. We've got the barbecue beer bagpipes shirt. Which
that's a new one to the store.
We have the best beard neck gaiter now, so if you still need to wear a mask, you can get one that's modeled off of what the Big Rab Show 2020 Awards consider to be the best beard.
Hey, man. Not just him. The entire world has voted.
The entire world. And we have our Piper Drummer Trucker hats. Last but not least, if you want to be, you want to support the show a bit, you're like, hey, these guys are assholes, but I like them well enough. You can do so at patreon.com/Chanarant for $5 or more a month, whatever you decide to pick, the price of a beer. And you can listen to us fuck up the goddamn setup for 15 minutes and then host a kick-ass show.
Did you create those trucker hats in honor of our guest today?
Oh, in honor of our great guest, Mr. Gord Taylor? No, yeah. I did not. But would you like to introduce our illustrious guest, Mr. Andrew Fusco?
Yeah, his name's Gord Taylor, apparently.
That's me over here. Yeah, that's still my name. Yeah.
Yeah, the bagpiper of the fake McKenzies. It's the ripoff of the Real McKenzies.
Do you know that's actually a thing? There was a band in Sarajevo once or the opening band that came on before us. They made T-shirts for themselves that said the fake McKenzies.
Well, when Josh and I ever decide to learn how to play instruments, we're going to rip off the Ticket Winkers or Wicked Tinkers and become the Ticket Winkers. So it's a great idea. Great idea. It's going to be.
So this is an interesting story because I don't know how this went for you, Gord, and you can kind of tell us your side here in a minute. But for me, I'm a big fucking Real McKenzies fan. I'm a big punk rock fan, and
nice.
I live and breathe this shit. And so I'm get a notification on my phone casually, like it went to the Instagram and the Facebook or something, and it's just it's your username, which I won't say out loud, but looks like a goddamn bot, by the way.
Very much so.
And
it's intentional.
And it's like, hey, I'm Gord Taylor with the Real McKenzies. I really like your guys' show. I'd love to come on. And I was like, fuck you. I was like, who is this?
This is somebody from India trying to sell me.
Well, I thought for sure it was one of our friends who knew I was a big fan of the band and was just fucking with me.
I literally thought it was somebody from India trying to sell me.
I'm like, fuck you. I guarantee you're not the fucking guy. And then Fusco reached out and I was like, no, it's really the fucking guy. Like,
no,
oh my God.
I didn't. What happened was I think you either emailed me or texted me. You found my number somewhere and he texted me. I'm like, oh, this guy might be real. He actually has my number.
Yeah.
Because if it goes to the internet, I just assume it's all fake. But he actually contacted my number. So did you look up my website or something? How did you find my number?
I don't remember. I think so. Yeah. And you know what? I should sort of take some of the wind out of your sails. I'm no longer the piper for the Real McKenzies. I was a long time ago. Well, about 5 years ago. That gig has been taken over by a fella named Aspie Louison, who's doing a bang up job. So I don't want to make any false illusions here. I was one of actually many bagpipers for the Real McKenzies.
We'll get into that. Yeah,
I'm about to say, because you're also
that job.
you're not sleeping on your laurels either. Like I listened to the shit you sent me. It's fucking great.
Cool. Good. I'm glad.
So yeah, but that was the funny thing for me was I get this message and I'm like, it's not fucking. Are you kidding me? Who's fucking with me right now? I thought for sure it's like Joe Brady.
It's too clever for Joe Brady.
Too clever for Joe Brady. But okay, so Gord, you've listened to the show a bit. You kind of know how we do things. We got a little bit of bullshit to get through, and then we're just gonna pick your brain.
All right.
On getting chased down by Canadian law enforcement, getting hit by cars. Having salt replaced for illicit materials.
Oh yeah, that's really true as well.
The debauchery of being in a punk band.
You think we didn't do our homework, but before that, we got to do the open. Fusco, right. You know what really blows up my DMs?
What's that, Josh?
When a piper for one of your favorite bands messages you and you're definitely sure it's fake. You're definitely sure it's one of your friends fucking with you.
Yeah, that's rough. We almost missed out on him. If he didn't contact me,
missed out, yeah.
We would have never answered
I thought for sure it was bullshit. I was like, fuck you. That's not the right guy. That's not the same guy. You kidding me? Like fucking, oh yeah, the piper from West Winds. Yeah, fucking texted me to come on my dick joke podcast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really going to buy that.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so real quick, let's get through some news and updates. I want to give a quick shout out to Beer Boy who came on the Spooktacular episode, which has not come out yet. Cheers, Beer Boy. It was a fun show, and I miss that guy. I'm still trying to get him to move to Vegas.
Yeah. And
we got new merch. We mentioned it in the intro. We have the official Best Beard neck gaiter. So if you want a mask that replicates the best beard,
and all
as determined by the Big Rab Show 2020. Oh yeah, I caught that one. Don't think I missed it. You can go to chainrant.com. You can get the neck gaiter that has the literal Foucault beard that you can then wear out and about. We also have a big beer barbecue bagpipe shirt. If you're not in the States, you don't understand the meme that is Nevada right now with the guy like screaming at people in the fucking barbecue beer freedom or something.
Shirt, yeah.
But check that one out. We have the 2020 season shirt that says I paid my 2020 dues and all I got was this fucking t-shirt, which huge uproar in social media because the mock-up got posted on Instagram before the live store one.
Right.
And they're like, you spelled paid wrong. I'm like, yeah, no, we fixed it. And then just quick fucking news and updates a la Rab. Congrats to Stuart Little, Chanter Rant guest on the 2020 Glenfiddich.
Yeah, do you think it's a coincidence that he came on the show right before he won the Glenfiddich?
No,
I don't think so.
I think we pushed him over.
I think so too. He was so inspired by us and our greatness that he decided to become great himself.
He got a loosey-goosey from just bevving it up.
But congratulations to him.
And another Chanter Rant alumni, Mr. Jack Lee, who won the P-Rock.
That's correct. And he was on the show too last year.
So get fucked, other piping podcasts.
Now, what was Callum Beaumont's excuse for completely biffing
we should probably fuck with Callum because he's come on before.
Yeah, we'll call him and be, hey, dude, what happened, man?
Hey, do you want to come on and figure out why you didn't even fucking place me? And then we have the, as we mentioned, the Big Rab Show award winners. Our own Mr. Andy Foucault with the best beard. Finally, after years of campaigning.
I just want to thank the constituents, all the people who voted for me, and
especially those who voted twice.
Or multiple times, like Kenny Hunter, thank you. Or who went through the trouble of changing their IP address, even though I don't think you really had to.
You didn't have to. You just refresh.
But, yeah, man. Finally, I beat that frog Frenchman Gus Sicard.
you beat Gus?
I'm gonna call him and just stick it to him.
We'll have him on. You can just rub in. We'll have have an episode when I'm out of town, or just Fusco and Gus's beard tips.
do a whole beard episode. It'll be great.
And then, of course, best social media went to former friend of the show, Matt Willis. hopefully to be friend of the show again.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. Eventually, he'll get over our certain brand of humor, I suppose. The Keith Highlanders, which was my personal pick, with Who the Fuck is Tim?
Right.
leading their amazing social media efforts on,
this whole COVID ban thing.
And then for everybody else, nobody gives a fuck.
Correct. I couldn't even name us another one.
Like best product. I mean,
I don't know. But
did somebody invent like a seasoning smelling hand sanitizer? Like, I don't know. There's no best product. They give it to like a blowpipe. I don't fucking know.
The blowpipe that has water trapped inside.
Do you even fuck with like all this nonsense, Gord? Like the Big Rab Show, all the random shit going on.
No, as a matter of fact, I got turned on to your show from a friend of mine in Winnipeg, and I'll be honest with you. I used to be in IT, and I used to know a fair bit about it. But to this day, yours is the first and only podcast I've ever listened to. Woo-hoo! And frankly, I've kind of it's kind of I don't know what the right word is. It's endearing to kind of get back into it and hear some of the names thrown around and talking about pipe band organizations. I've listened to far more of your podcasts over the last week since knowing that I'm coming on and speaking with you guys than you'd probably be modest to accept.
That it only slightly alarms me. Did you listen to the one where we made Fusco play Chanter in the Gimp mask with the dominatrix?
No, didn't get that far. But I do have a dominatrix question for you later down the road.
Right. Okay. We've got answers.
Shit, yeah, we've probably got many. Or God, what was the one? What was the one with Eric Evenhouse where we talked about marinating? In Mormon country, I don't remember that's a good one.
Yeah, there's lots of good ones out there. God is a T-Rex. Great episode.
You know what I was most surprised with? I've been out of the game of competition and of pipe band organizations and associations for so long. It was kind of interesting to hear all the new names that I had never heard before. I mean, I had no idea that Mike Wallace was playing pipes. I knew he did news for 60 Minutes and fucking Tom Brady like that guy there. Is there anything that guy can't do? I think that's amazing. I never knew. I mean, the world has come a long way since I was in piping.
I mean, he is a winner after all.
Yeah. I mean, he can't get it up, but other than that, he's good. So, okay, let's get through the rest of our bullshit. We've got, let's see, we went through the winners. We have our dojo referral link, the Piper's fucking dojo. Sko, give a pitch.
Yeah, man, if you want to learn how to play pipes, good like Gord.
Goodly
like Gord.
If you want to strongly be good pipe player,
you should join the Piper's Dojo. But first, go to chanarant.com/suckless and get yourself $1 first month for $1.
Yeah, it's premium membership.
Let me tell you what they got going on this weekend. You want to know what they got going on?
I am aware. And are you going to tell people again that they can just get it for $1 and then quit?
Yeah, why not?
Might as well.
We don't care. So we have the big man himself, the guy who won the MSR, as a matter of fact, at Glenfiddich. Willie McCallum is teaching jigs tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, right?
I think it was today. Oh, tomorrow is Sunday.
It's tomorrow. So tomorrow at, I don't know, whatever time, you can join.
You realize that this show will have already come out long after this thing happened.
Oh, well, fuck it. All right, but 2 weeks from now, there will be somebody else.
There'll be someone else.
Somebody else of that quality will be there.
There'll be
I have no idea.
Stuart Little teaches underwater basket weaving.
But anyway, join the Piper's Dojo, chanarant.com/suckless, and become a goodly piper.
Should we? So I kind of want to start some competition because there is scoring on the new Dojo U site. Like you can accumulate points. You can go through belts,
badges and stuff. Yeah.
Fusco, what's your like belt badge level? Like if one of the 6 beats you, what do they get?
Well, I mean they gotta earn it. It's not like it's a contest.
Oh no, they have to go through.
It takes a process.
They have to go through tons of lessons and things. But
if they get higher than me,
if they get higher than you, what do they get?
They get to blow me.
Well, they already were below you.
Oh, yeah.
What do they get after?
They get a special free half-hour session with Josh McEachern.
Where I don't teach you anything because I don't want to.
He just swears at you a lot and tells you he's going to cut your throat.
I'm going to stick you.
You don't get better, damn it.
You don't get better, I'm going to stick you. I have not threatened to slit the throat of a piper in a long time. Also, we haven't had practice since March.
I was going to say, that's really the reason. We didn't have a concert this year.
Record's a record, asshole. Last but not least, we have our November raffle winner. So this is, if you are a patron of the Chanarants podcast, you go to patreon.com/Chanarant and you pay your $5. You are entered every month into a raffle to win a free shirt, and this month's winner is
Michael
Did you
Brandt.
really fart right
really
when you did it?
I was saving it. Like, come on, get to the point. I'm trying to fart here.
I was wondering why you were tapping it faster.
It's Mikey Brandt, who is actually also a dojo member.
Ah, phenomenal. So, Michael, if you listen to this episode, you have won the November raffle. Hit us up, chanarant@gmail.com. Let us know shirt size. So you got
shirt size and address.
Yeah. What shirt do you want? What size do you want? And where the fuck do you live?
We promise we won't send drones.
We may. And we have the November happy hour for patrons. Speaking of our patrons, that's going to be let's see, the 14th of November at 1930 Pacific. So was that like a Friday? 14th of Friday? Yeah, today's the 7th. So it's next Saturday. No, it's
next Saturday.
A week from today.
Is it really? Jesus Christ.
A week from today, you can come hang out with all the other patrons on the happy hour. And we might even try to tease in some guests, including probably Gord.
Yeah, if we can rope him in.
If we can rope him in. We can rope him into a Zoom call somehow.
But
that's all I got.
Yeah, man, that was amazingly fast. You want to take a deep breath now that we got this far? It's okay. We made it. Now we can gently talk to Gord through his ear holes.
I try to get through the pointless things early so that we can talk about the fun things.
Oh, wait a minute. I already know this cover. I'm looking through the notes here.
Oh yeah, so
we covered these guys.
Yeah, I know. So I've got some
Just hit me.
Yeah. So
should we do it for him?
Oh no, I think we should play. Well, the only problem is if we play, he's not gonna be able to hear. I could maybe try to play it off
We'll just sing a verse and a chorus.
Yeah, send in the link. So we did cover one of your songs for our concert, Gord. I don't know if you knew that.
Hey, no shit.
Yeah.
Which one?
Was he on that album? I don't know.
Yeah, we covered The Tempest.
Would you believe it if I told you that I wrote that song?
I did. I do believe it because I read the fucking notes in the album.
Oh, really? Yeah. That was the first and the first album that I had ever written, and that song, and I shouldn't take all the credit because Dirty Kurt had a big hand in the chorus, and the whole song came to be. I was living in Vancouver on the West End, and I had just gotten into the band, and this was after a couple of sort of failed album writing attempts, and we just started piecing together ideas, and there was a lot of drugs on the table, and Dirty Kurt. And Dirty Kurt will tell you that chorus came from him and his buddies in a little fucking fishing boat or something going across a lake in BC, and I guess the motor cacked out and there was a storm coming, and so they picked up the oars and he's screaming, "Row, you bastards, row, or else we're going down." This sort of thing. So I threw together. Well, I didn't throw them together. We gave it a lot of thought, and I did all the verses and put in a pipe part there. That I kind of ripped off from an old traditional song, but I stand by my ripoff. And the piece ended up coming out, and I think we got pretty lucky with it.
Yeah, so we do a bit. So we have our every November we have what we call the Celtic Thanksgiving concert for the Las Vegas Pipe Band. It's like a big fundraising event, and we do different bits. Like we'll do like obviously traditional pipe band performances. We'll have drum majors come out. We'll do like a drum salute. We'll do things like that. But one of the things we used to do, we don't really do it anymore because we don't have enough bodies. But we used to do an a cappella bit. And so we would do an a cappella bit, and it was like 3 or 4 members of the band, but we would wear these like horrible disguises. We'd wear like beards and like fake beards and fucking wigs and shit, and pretend to be this Irish a cappella group called Bollocks and Fiddle. And one of the ones that we did was actually The Tempest. I don't remember what year we did it, mind you.
Is it on video somewhere for a guy to watch?
Oh, it most certainly is. I'm going to try to...
3 years ago, maybe?
It might have been a while ago.
2 years?
I'm going to let me find the link, and I'll text it to you. Because I kind of, we don't have to do it now. but we got to get a review of what does Gord think we did with his tune.
I'm sure you guys did it fine. The inspiration for that, well, not inspiration, but one of the things I wanted to do that. Have you heard the tune on that album, Barrett's Privateers?
Oh yes, I really wanted us to do that one, but it was too hard.
It's a hard song. It's a long song. It's long and hard. And it was a Stan Rogers piece of music, a Canadian musician, and it was that kind of made me want to do something a cappella. The McKenzies all had, like, we had seven pretty strong sounding voices, and when we did that Barrett's Privateers, we'd line the front of the stage, and people went fucking apeshit over a bunch of dudes in kilts and wife beaters singing a cappella stuff. And so I sort of wanted to do something of my own, and that was a big reason why The Tempest is The Tempest.
So speaking of Northwest Passage, next album, can we get, or speaking of Stan Rogers, can we get Northwest Passage on the next album? Maybe
Northwest Passage was on the album.
It was already there.
Yeah. In fact, Aspie did it. Aspie is he's the current piper with the McKenzies, and he's a Galician piper, and he played Galician pipes on that track.
That actually brings up an interesting point. So I know you play GHB. Do you play any other kinds of pipes?
No, I do classical guitar. I spent about 15 years in classical guitar, and I did I don't know if you have it in the States, the Royal Conservatory of Music. That's what we call it up here. And so I did the grade 10 performance, and I did all the theory. I got one last exam to take that I've been sitting on for, I don't know, 15 years. It's a history exam, so it's kind of no big deal. It's interesting, but it'll keep, So classical guitar is my other instrument. I had some Deeger pipes. Is that what they're called? That little electronic chanter?
Dagger pipes, yeah.
Yeah.
Dagger? Okay. So I bought a set for Matt and I, my old buddy Matt and the previous piper, the McKenzies. But we found after a couple of nights of writing music that with enough speed and fucking KY jelly that accumulates, like all the sensors don't keep working anymore, and not so much the speed and KY between Matt and I, but it's really filthy, gross fingers of a rock and roll band that just destroyed those fucking things in 2 months.
How did you get the KY all the way from your ass to the chanter? That's what I want to know.
It's kind of permanently on your hands. It's all over the tour band. Like
it never goes away.
Yeah, you ever grab a door handle and you get a little surprise? That's sort of what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, I can imagine he's full of stories of craziness. Should we get into some of those?
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of our topic of the week. Unless you want to like insert an artificial break for an ad read, but I think let's do this. I'm gonna insert an artificial break, but the ad read is pre-recorded, so no one's gonna know. So, and now a word from our sponsors. This episode of the Chanarant Podcast is brought to you by MacLellan Bagpipes, proudly made in North America by artesian bagpipe maker Roddy McLellan from Eust, Scotland. At MacLellan Bagpipes, they don't strive to be the biggest, fastest, or the cheapest. They do, however, meticulously craft a small number of the best-sounding and most beautiful-looking bagpipes in the world since their beginning in 1988. Over the years, MacLellan Bagpipes has established a solid reputation for rich, warm, and stable tone, created with incredible craftsmanship and instruments of heirloom quality and unparalleled beauty. Head to bespokebagpipes.com to learn more about their innovations like the new Elevation Chanter, which features a lower-pitched richness inspired by the classic top hand of older chanters and sustainable solutions like the Revelation Bagpipe, a Delrin instrument featuring bores lined with a cellulose polymer sleeve giving you the structural benefits of a Delrin instrument while maintaining a refined wood-like sound. Check out MacLellan Bagpipes' diverse line of instruments and learn more about their restoration work on vintage bagpipes by visiting their website at bespokebagpipes.com. MacLellan Bagpipes, born in Scotland, made in the USA. And we're back. See how easy it is now that it's pre-recorded? What a world.
Great.
Yeah, what a world we live in. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the most fascinating thing is, so there's kind of this genre of music that most people consider to be like, oh, it's Celtic punk or it's like Celtic punk rock. And I don't think that like accurately describes it, right? Like, because people hear like Dropkick Murphys, people hear, or, back in the day it was like the Pogues or shit like that. And I don't think it accurately describes what the different genres are. Like the Young Dubliners, are great, and you can say it's like Celtic punk rock. Honestly, it's just punk rock, and they cover some Celtic tunes, in my opinion.
Okay.
So when you're working on the McKenzies, when you're working on your solo stuff, like how do you try to like either stay out of a box or, I mean, I'm assuming you're never trying to like go to the box. I'm assuming you're just trying to figure out, hey, here's music I want to make, and everyone else can get fucked.
That's it. There is no box, Neil.
There's no box, Neil.
I'm not kidding. It's I think punk rock and Celtic punk and folk and folk punk and hard folk, like they're all to me, they all seem to be labels that maybe others need to organize their music. I don't know, that never really jived with me. I think punk rock is kind of all in the attitude. When I grew up in Winnipeg, I played with a pipe band called the Sterling Pipe Band, and they were completely a punk rock pipe band. This was a band who was waiting at the line, smoking joints. They had different. I'm not kidding. They had different colored kilts. They couldn't afford pipe bags. All they could afford was the basic rules for the contest, because all these guys wanted to do was play together. And they had the most. I meant to send you the album actually. It's called the Sterling Pipe Band, Horse of a Different Color. And there's a fair bit of fluff on that album, but of the piping tracks, the band tracks that you'll find on there, they're totally punk rock. They're a band who played at their own speed, at their own pitch. They did their own thing, and I think to me that's where the punk rock moniker fits in. And it's confusing, right? Because I mean, it's really just do what you want. Do what you want, do it yourself, make it great. That to me is punk rock. That's how it felt joining that band, and ever since that band, it's sort of been one thing after the other that was all a part of the genre of do what you want, enjoy what you do, be good to people, take them under your wing, play, entertain, be jovial. I think that's more punk rock than any of the labels might classify music. Because I mean, it's confusing, right? There, you might find a band that's totally tame and totally folky, but yet behind the stage they're snarfing up lines of blow off hookers' tits, and you know what I mean. Like, so then where do you go?
Just
with
like
that?
Bob
Is
Dylan,
punk rock in the attitude, or is in the music? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it gets into one of those things. Like we have a saying that we use a lot on this show and a lot kind of musically, where we always say, "Whatever gets your dick hard."
Right. And I mean, whatever. Actually, I was listening to a show that you guys did about your pipe band association. Can you pronounce it for me, please?
Wuspaba.
I really thought that. Do you feel comfortable that your pipe band association starts with the phonetic pronunciation of wuss?
No. It would be much nicer if it was just called Nobody, because it doesn't exist.
So I was doing some thinking, and when I heard it the first time, I heard whisper butt. Those are the words that came out as the pronunciation of that pipe band.
That was Josh's Nevada accent.
So
no,
I
or it was Andy just cutting a cute fart in between
Could
takes.
have been.
So you guys did this show, and to me it was screaming out for some punk rocker of your area to do something really different. It's a coup d'etat is what it is. Like to change the things you don't like and just do whatever you want for the purpose of doing something that everybody wants. I think that's what punk rock is, whether it's in a pipe band or whether it's in rock and roll.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head. We kind of try to be the rock and roll pipers in our area, just because we hate everything and we want to party and have fun and we want the music to be good. And if the music's not good, then that's okay. We just try to make it better. But you get into this whole fucking you get put in the box of like,
I know.
Are you a competition pipe band? Are you a pipe major of a grade 4? Are you a podcast of a dick show, or a podcast host of a dick show podcast? Like, what do you do? I don't know.
And I mean, you're getting the old fuddy-duddies looking down their nose at you, and that's not making you any friends, and people are getting discriminatory towards you without even listening. I know what you mean, but you know what? For my vote, you guys are totally a punk rock podcast.
We've got it official from the source. We're officially a punk rock podcast. I appreciate it.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, I prefer metal podcasts, but either way.
I feel like we've been certified on two fronts, though. We've been certified on the metal front and on the punk rock front.
Right,
like we're doing really well.
We're doing good so far.
I mean, you know, all we need now is become the most rap podcast as well. And then we've really covered our bases.
We gotta do some work on that one. We gotta have Angel in a lot more often.
Racist.
What? Because I noticed that he's black. What the fuck?
I'm like Lucy. I'm like my dog. Everybody's gray.
But talking about labels, I mean, that must be difficult for your manager, though.
Oh, we gotta
go. Book you.
We gotta go early in. We gotta circle around here, right? And
okay.
and we're not gonna do like the traditional interview shit. But I gotta know. So you play. You know, you learn to play pipes in a pipe band that was probably in your area. Youth pipe bands probably started early.
That's right.
Decided that, hey, this is fun, but I want to see some boobs.
Well, he went to a conservatory as well, which is hyper traditional and stick up the butt style, right? A lot of P-Brock in your past, I assume.
I am interested to know 2 questions, and you have some time to think about it if you need. Highest high is a punk rock bagpiper. Lowest low is a punk rock bagpiper.
Yeah, let me come back to those. That's a pretty broad question, but I'll do my best. I'll have to think about it as we go. Can we come back to it in 15 minutes?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just can't say being on the show is the worst. That doesn't count. It's got to be besides that.
Yeah, then we cut the feed. But yeah, so just ponder that for a minute because I'm very interested in that whole aspect of things.
Yeah, and I'm more curious too as to the highs and the lows of the the old school way you used to do it before you joined the punk rock band and you were doing all the traditional stuff. Did you ever have a good time doing that, or were you like, it's just?
Oh, I certainly did. Yeah, I certainly did. I started when I was 6, so yeah, you were right on the money. I didn't do P-Brook. I did for a little while, but I couldn't get into it. You're right as well about the conservatory. It's entirely classical music. I think the P-Brook wasn't too interesting to me. I was always a medley guy. Like I played the MSR because I had to, and there's only one or two occasions in my life when it was actually the drum corps really made the MSR fucking click for me. It was just the coolest scores that they had written,
right.
And I really enjoyed playing like 2 MSRs in my life that I really ever enjoyed playing. So it was a slow climb. Like it that Sterling pipe band that I was telling you about. Now Matt McNasty was the old piper of the McKenzies, and he and I were best friends in Winnipeg, busking on the street. And actually Matt discovered from a young age, when you're 15 years old and you wear a kilt and you bring your bagpipes to the pub, they let you in. And so we had legitimate drinking holes when we were in grade 10 or grade 11. And
ironically enough, Gord, that's how Josh discovered bars as well. He had pipes and made it and could go in and nobody questioned.
I could go in when I was 15 and drink whatever I wanted.
Yeah, we just brought him along and nobody looked funny at him.
I'm glad to hear that was still a thing in that, because what did you say? You're in your 30s, are you, Josh?
Just about to turn 30.
Just about to be, yeah.
So I always thought it was a thing, a 90s thing. So I'm glad to hear that, or like a late 80s, early 90s thing when Matt and I were doing it. But I'm glad to hear that the kilt and the bagpipe still has a sway to make people forget the law.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good.
We were definitely bad influences.
I don't think the people forgot the law. I just think that we didn't care enough to where everyone was like, all right, well, we'll just,
I got talked to once by a member of the band for letting the youngins drink.
Yeah, I remember that.
A couple times, actually.
Well, and the funniest thing was you got the talking to...
It's not my kid. I don't give a fuck what he does.
Well, and it was just like, well, I can't believe you're letting Josh be Josh. And it's like, dude, you think I could fucking stop that guy?
It wasn't just about you. I got it from another kid, too, where another member of the band was like... I think somebody brought around shots and I handed him one or something. It was one of the kids. You bring you a tray of shots at St. Patrick's Day and you just fucking hand them out.
How else do you watch
somebody
says
something? I'm like, I didn't even notice he was standing there. He took it. I mean, granted, I knew, but I just didn't give a fuck. So, but yeah, man, it's still live. I don't know about today.
What?
We haven't tried it in the last 10 years.
If you were a good parent, he would just leave it on the fucking tray. But he grabbed it, so
right. So I guess you raised him wrong.
That's on you. That's not on me.
That's funny.
So I'm going to come back to the lowest low, but I hope you don't mind this. It's a broad answer to a broad question, but the highest high.
We love broads, man.
has got to be the this sounds really gay, but it's like the bands that I've played in, and the musicians that were all fucking clicking on the same page at the same time. And that was some pipe bands that I played with. That was some individual people that I played with. That was definitely the McKenzies. The McKenzies was probably the biggest manifestation of that. We were a band that never practiced. Like, we never got together to practice. We wrote music and we recorded it, and then before a tour came up, we might have 2 days in the studio before we go on and throw it out to 25,000 people. But we just seem to always click together. I mean, it's like pipers and an intro and hammering on an E together, and all these drones and all these things being together. Well, when we got into the jam space after not seeing each other for 2 months and having to fucking get Kurt's guitars on a pawn and track down Paul and get everybody on a fucking plane and whatever else, and everybody shows up hungover. Well, there are fucking 4 beats into a song, Chip. I don't know if you know the song Chip, but
we're familiar.
A count of 4, and we all, it was like there was just no other way to live but to all be together on that note. And I mean, if we weren't going to stop the song and start all over, but goddamn, you missed a great opportunity. Even if you're just in the jam space, you missed a great opportunity to be a part of that fucking first note of Chip. You know, so that I don't know how to describe that feeling, but that was certainly the high. Was having 7 musicians in one room who all had this unspoken importance for what they were doing and what they were doing beside someone else and in front of someone else and with the music that they had written that other people seemed to like. That, I think that was I don't know any way to describe that feeling. So that's got to be the highest high. I'll get back to you on the lowest low.
Well, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like that always seems to be like the goal, right? Because any good band, pipe band, rock band, punk rock band, it's not necessarily always based around like the same people over and over again. It's like a pirate ship, right? Like some pirates get off, some pirates get on, and as long as everyone can fucking do their job, you get to this point where like, oh shit, like you can just jump on from nowhere and immediately hit the note you're supposed to hit. Like, fucking A. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna haze you as hard. Still gonna haze you, but not as hard.
You're right. That's actually a really good analogy. I think you're exactly right. You jump on that pirate ship and you look at what everybody else is doing, and you know that your place on that pirate ship is to fucking do what you're supposed to be doing, and that you don't need to be told, you don't need to be scolded, you don't need to be talked to. You just fucking do it.
Yeah, if you're the cook, you just hose the blood off the potatoes and cook everyone potatoes.
That's a little bit stranger of an analogy, but I think I follow.
That's from a Graham story. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't remember that one, but okay.
Fun fact about Chip is that we had written that piece of music for a Martin Scorsese film. And we were trying to be the lead piece on this film called The Departed. And unfortunately, we got second place to that to Dropkick Murphys, who wrote that bitchin' fucking Shipping Up to Boston tune. I think they deserved it, but that was our effort at being on that movie.
Okay, so if I could, I will argue that Chip is a better song. But I understand why they won, and we did as a band. We covered Shipping Up to Boston many times.
No, like twice.
Kickin' Dick covered it. Yeah, Kickin' Dick. We covered the shit out of it.
No, we did not. We played it like one show.
We always fucking played fucking. I still remember the goddamn little.
We practiced it a lot. We didn't play very often. We didn't get a lot of gigs. I don't know if you remember this. 1, maybe 2 a year.
Yeah, it's because we should have played Chip.
Maybe we should have played Chip, and they would have hired us more. That's for sure.
It's a great family wholesome story about a rat who is also Satan terrorizing a guy, and he sold his soul for fucking copper nails, which is not even a good nail.
And gentlemen, it was a story by Charles Dickens.
Oh, nice.
It's called The Devil and Mr. Chips.
So I had to ask this then. Did you guys ever be like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna cover Shipping Off to Boston and just to be
no, nuts? That's a good question. That never we covered a lot of bands, and there was never any lost pride or something about it, and there certainly was no animosity between the Dropkick Murphys and the McKenzies. We all got along swimmingly. I didn't know the Dropkick Murphys as well as the roster before me, but no, that never did come up. It's funny you say that, because that's something I could see us hanging out in the green room and just pissing around with and changing the jig to a hornpipe or something. And yeah, I don't know. That never came up.
Well, you should have done that, man. That's my contribution.
That's a contribution, Scott. Well, and also you gotta keep in mind, like, you know, we're really focusing on Real McKenzies shit, but Gord's been around the block.
That's what I hear.
Multiple times. So you've played stadium shows with NoFX, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, which is a band that I thoroughly am a fan of.
Me too.
What is going on these tours, man?
I don't. I was a part of the band. I don't remember the years. I was sort of on their. I was a tag along for probably 12 or 10 years, and then toured for, I forget how many, 3 or 4.5 or 2.5 or whatever it was. And with NoFX and Me First, I only remember doing sort of oddball shows with them. And with NoFX, I remember doing Slovenia with NoFX, and Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. I want to say if I remember right, I want to say it was Resurrection Fest in Viveiro, Spain or something. But those were sort of one-offs. Pennywise, we toured quite a bit with. We were their opening band for whole tours, which was really cool. Those guys were great. I remember the band before I was a part tour. I don't know what happened. I wish I could give you the whole story on this, because something happened, and other members of the band would be delighted to enlighten you on exactly the form of debauchery that stopped NoFX from ever wanting the Real McKenzies on tour with them again. But something happened on a Japanese tour. Not something happened, but you know, two bands' behaviors conflicting with each other, perhaps. I'm not sure. And the McKenzies toured Japan with NoFX before I was there, and then never toured with them again.
It's too bad for you, huh? They fucked it up. They fucked it up for you.
We were all family. I mean, that's all the same record label, right? That was Fat Records, and there was a real, there still is a real, to me, a family atmosphere. If anybody from fucking Lagwagon or the Pears or anybody from NoFX called me and asked for pipes, I'd probably pay my own fucking plane ticket just to go and make sure it's that it's me that gets to do it.
I have a question, and I forgive my ignorance. I'm not a punk rock bagpipe kind of music kind of guy. Generally speaking, I'm roughly familiar with it, but I'm curious. Has anybody ever experimented with like sort of ska punk bagpipe type stuff?
Oh, god damn it! You put that out there in the world.
I'm just curious. It just hit me. Like
now we're gonna have like 17 bands in 2022. It's like,
is that a thing? Like, does that ever happen? Do you ever jump in with somebody like that? Or, I mean, I'm sure ska has crossed your way, being in that scene.
I mean, yeah. Oh.
I'm not sure I'm the best person to answer. Again, going back to musical genres, I'm not sure where the gray area and the line is, but I kind of feel those two go back and forth in rhythmical ways anyway. I'm not. Yeah, I could see them happening interchangeably. Again, a genre thing. Actually, a funny story. You ever heard of the Red Hot Chili Pipers?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone has who plays bagpipes.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I've been out of the loop for long. I don't know why this reminds me of this, but we got pulled in to do it wasn't a Highland Games. Well, it was a Highland Games with like a whole Renaissance fair and all this in Vorarltorf, Switzerland. And we landed. Actually, this would have been. I went over there to write West Winds, but we never ended up doing it. We ended up practicing for the live album that we did at Wild at Heart. But so we go to this Highland Games, and it was one of these. You Americans are used to them. We don't have them as much in Canada, where there's the whole fight scenes and reenactments, and people are fucking cooking mutton and
well, that's for us. That's only Ren fairs. That's not games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
games for us are only contests.
Okay, I've seen combinations of Ren fairs and games in the States. I thought McAllister College used to have something like that. It doesn't matter. So Vorarltorf, Switzerland was sort of doing this, but their bigger draw was the Renaissance Fair, and then there's a little bit of piping on the side. So we got pulled in from this lady. I think her name was Connie, and she was hell bent for leather on how much she loved Red Hot Chili Pipers, and she was so excited to hear what we had to play and what kind of band we were. I don't think she had ever heard us, and she didn't know anything about us, because Connie, we later found out, was on the police force as a narcotics officer, and it was largely a police festival. That's really who was in the crowd. Every fifth person was a Swiss police officer, and Swiss police officers are quite a bit different than a police officer in Berlin or a police officer in Holland. It's a fucking serious deal. So we play, and they don't know what hit them. Like, they really weren't expecting Marshall amplifiers turned up to 11, and guys in fucking kilts and no shirts on and saying fuck this and fuck that. Like, it wasn't the chili pipers that they were expecting, and you could see this disappointment in their faces. But we kept on going and trying to win them over, and at some point there was some shit. You ever heard of grappa?
No.
Oh yes, the weird like fucking grape alcohol.
Right.
Oh,
it's made out of the vines of grapes. So the grapes are used for wine.
What we would consider to be like Applejack, but with grapes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know what Applejack is, but yeah, it's a liquor, and it's distilled from anyway. So this shit made it out on stage, and we're playing along, and the show's getting close to an end. And Bone, our guitar player, he takes a big mouthful of this stuff. I think he thought it was a liqueur, something sweeter and something a little easier to take. Well, Bone has a weak gag reflex at the best of times.
As you know personally.
So he just yaks.
I'm afraid I do know personally. It has nothing to do with what I stuck in there, but it has everything to do with sitting beside him and just mentioning a foul-smelling anal leakage or something, and you'll see that Bone's tongue go to his back of his throat. It's a lot of fun making someone gag just by saying something. But anyway, he took a massive mouthful of this stuff that went down his gullet, and I used to play on Bone's side of the stage, which was stage right, and I could see that he had to throw up, and so. Bone was he was trying to hold it in. It wasn't going to happen, and he slowly walked over to Dirty Kurt's side of the stage left. And these two kind of they've lived a long time together, and they sort of have their own thing going on. They have a big guitar battle at the end of the night that sometimes resulted in a fist fight. Anyway, Bone just throws up all over Kurt's side of the stage, and then walks back to his side of the stage and continues playing. Well, the lights go out, and they start swearing, "Get the fuck off this stage, you fucking mother! Who do you think you?" And Bone, another thing about Bone is he's got a bit of a silver tongue. So he managed to sweet talk this guy and say, "I'm so sorry, it won't happen again. We just got off a plane. I was feeling a little jet lagged." So we go back to playing. And Bone continues playing, and the grappa comes around again. And with a little twinkle in his eye and a smile on his face, Bone takes another big swig of that grappa. And this time he throws up all over his side of the fucking stage, all over our side. We're slipping on this stuff, and I'm mashing all over his tuner. And so now there's puke all over the stage. Lights go out, power gets turned off, nothing left. Will you guys get the fuck out? And this time the promoter has Bone up against the amps and is screaming at him. And Bone's taking it, and he said, "I'm really sorry. Let me clean it up. I'll clean it up." And he does. He takes a fucking piece of cardboard and does this weak job of sort of pushing it off to the side of that. And power comes back on, and we managed to finish this set. But at the same time, Randy's saying, our sound manager, Randall Steffes, he's saying, guys, pack the fucking guitars up. Get them packed up while Bone's cleaning that up. We may have to fucking bolt. And so we get everything sort of packed up, and we're playing the last that's called the Rock Block, and we've got these rocking songs that has Thistle Boy in it, where this guitar solo is supposed to happen. And sure enough, the grappa comes out one last time. It's inevitable. In fact, I think Bone's asking for it at this point. No, pass it over here. And he takes a big swig, and he throws up all over center stage, in front of Paul, all over the crowd, all over the monitors, all over everybody who had their mouth open, aghast already from what the fuck this band was putting out that had nothing to do with the Red Hot Chili Pipers. The lights get turned out. We fucking grab our guitar cases, head out to the van. We bolt from Feraltorf, Switzerland. Never saw the place again. I don't think we got paid, and that was all fine.
And Paul didn't just beat the hell out of the guy.
No, that was. I mean, next time it might have been Paul. You never know. Paul had his own ways of making some interesting moments for shows.
So the only time that I got to see the Real McKenzies live was in Vegas at the Beauty Bar, like end of September, maybe 2 years ago. It was the one I invited you to.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, wasn't that Punk Rock Bowling?
Yeah, and
yes,
it was around the time of Punk Rock Bowling. But I watched him. I watched him play at the Beauty Bar, and there were about 17 people there, including me, and I was so excited.
This was outside Outback?
Yeah, this is one where I got us tickets and you didn't come, dick.
I was like, the real who?
And then I was really excited. I literally spent the evening like hanging out, just drinking with members of the band, and it was really good fun. But I'm really upset that you weren't there, dude, because I feel like you would have been a lot more fun.
The band is. I don't think the band has ever done as well in the States as they have in other countries. I'm not sure. Maybe there's just a different thing going on there. We used to do good up the West Coast, like in the Seattles and Portlands, and obviously the San Francisco's where Fat Records is. But never really had a what could be called a successful U.S. tour.
I don't think here. Okay, I'm a little drunk, so let me stage this out. Here's my thought process. I don't think anyone's going to have like a successful tour again. I think that bands will end up kind of hitting their bases. So, hey, like we're gonna do a fucking show here. It's going to be small. No one's going to know what's going to happen, and bang, like we're gone again. I think that's going to be the future of this kind of shit because touring's just still not a fucking option right now.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong though. Like I hope that when all this shit's over, I hope I don't know about bands in other genres on other labels, but I know that any band that we ever toured with on Fat or otherwise, any opening band, any fucking band on EMI, any punk rock band who loved making music is just dying to bust out of the gates and get on stage, and that's sort of how I like. That's how I like
fucking shows.
That's how I like to think of this whole thing ending is someone like lifting the curtain, or that's a bad analogy, but lifting the ban or whatever, and all of a sudden every fucking place in every town, houses, churches, any place that's got a stage is booked. I hope anyway. Maybe that's a fucking pipe dream.
No, but that would be the most amazing end to this, but like
it's gonna be like the end of a Bill and Ted movie. Like it's just a giant concert the entire world celebrates with each other, and peace and harmony and love and blowjobs for all.
That would be the most amazing thing. If just everyone just fucking just blow out. I want windows to break from the amplitude.
Listen, speaking of that, what's Nevada like today with the big news over the world radio?
We're fine. Nevada is indestructible.
I see.
We literally set off nukes here for shits and giggles.
There's a few less mouthy rednecks, but other than that,
I'm a redneck too, but I'm a blue redneck, not a redneck. Like it's different.
Right, but you're a very rare breed.
But it's like honestly, we're just like fucking hey, like everything's so far apart. There's so few people here. That's what people don't tend to understand.
There's 2.2 million people in this valley.
Actually, I didn't know that either. That sounds a bit like where I'm from in Canada. It's pretty spaced out.
It's a large area. Unlike where you're from in Canada, it's unforgiving, hot, dry desert that will also freeze you to death at night, as opposed to Canadian desert, which will freeze you to death in the day and also in the night.
Yeah, you're right about. I only trucked through Vegas once, and the fucking heat went up to I think 108 or something. My AC broke down. It was just like driving into a fucking hot air dryer.
That's for sure.
Earth is unforgiving.
So let me ask you something on the opposite side of all this peace, love, and happiness. Part of this is how did you biff it and lose the gig with the Real McKenzies? Or did you choose to quit like a fucking dope?
I chose to quit like a drunk dope. There's a longer story to this. I'll give you the short part though.
We got a lot of time left.
All right. Well, you know what? It has a little bit. You know, this is actually my getting married story. I'm divorced now, but this is there's a few details to this. At the time, I was dating a German model. She had a corset business. I won't say any names. I don't know how much she wants me telling this story.
I want to look this broad up. Come on.
I was dating this German model, and on the first night we hung out, the way we sort of started liking each other. I didn't drink at the time, and she went to a concert in, I don't know, wherever the fuck it was, Reutlingen or Stuttgart or something, way in the south, and she lived up in Dusseldorf. So she said, "Well, this is great, Gord. You don't drink, so you can fucking drive my BMW home down the Autobahn and take us both back to Dusseldorf, and I'll fuck your brains out.
Brilliant.
I said, yeah, that sounds all right. So we played, and we did just that.
Wait a minute. Maybe how fast did you get on the Autobahn?
I was just going to say, maybe that's a high point too, was getting a blowjob at 150 miles an hour in like a brand new BMW.
That's fantastic.
That was pretty cool. So we go back to her place, and we had like a wicked 4 or 5 days before I flew back to Canada. And I remember I bought a motorbike off Paul McKenzie, and I drove that motorbike from Vancouver back to Winnipeg about, I don't know, 1,100 miles. And we were talking the whole way on the phone. So I'm like, you know what? We should fucking hang out. So next time I come over, I'm going to come over 3 weeks, 4 weeks early. We're going to hang out and whatever. So I do just that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. I hadn't really been at the time, but I sure am now that, sometimes you're going out with someone or they're going out with you and they fucking lose interest. And instead of, copping to it and telling you about it, they just ignore the shit out of you and belittle you and put you under their thumb and grind you into a thin fucking paste and let you go off on your own accord. Well, this was quite similar.
Like every relationship I've ever had.
All right.
I mean, they did it to me. Of course.
I was just going to say, though, in all honesty, though, have you ever done it to someone else?
I
bet you have.
We
all have.
Yes,
yeah.
I have.
It's yeah. Anyway, so this was what happened after about 4 days. She didn't give two shits about me. So I'm getting out of here. I went to give me a ride to Duisburg. I'm going to go down to Berlin and fucking cry myself to sleep. And really I did. This is embarrassing to say, but I was, when am I ever going to get to date a German model again? It's so fucking embarrassing to talk about. But I go down to Berlin, and our booking agent left with his wife for vacation, asked me to take care of their house. I said, all right, well, that's something. There was a brothel just across the street called Tiffany's on Oranienstrasse in Berlin. So I spent a good deal of 50 euro notes over there, and that kind of helped getting over it. But what really helped getting over it was the next when the tour finally started. Our first few shows were in Holland. We played a gig called Schwarzkross, which was it means black cross, and it was a motocross event. So it was really cool. There were fucking huge stages with 5,000 people crowds, and then like big motocross half pipes and stuff like this, and dirt bikes going everywhere. It was wild. In fact, I think I even played with Gord there, which was kind of cool too.
Dude.
Yeah. So at that show, there was an Italian girl who showed up, and this little Italian girl, she must have been like 3 apples tall, and a beautiful girl from Milan, worked for a jewelry company, and she was kind of into me. And let me tell you guys, I forgot all about that fucking German model.
All it takes is new tang, buddy.
Indeed. So we end up hanging out. We do the rest of the tour, 4 weeks, and she comes out to a few shows. And by the end of the tour, our last show is at a club called The Clash in Berlin. And she comes out and she says, "You know what, Gord? Do you want to fucking hang out with me after the tour? My family's got a cabin in Italy, and they're not going to be there. And yeah, we can fucking do that." And I said, "Yeah, that sounds great." And during the time that we hung out, I found out a bit about her family. Like her dad is a baker, and they got a dog, and whatever fucking details. And so she comes to the fucking Clash, and it was at the Clash where I gave my future wife a hug and, said hello. I had met her through a guy in my band and just sort of shook hands and, all right, see you later. I'm going off with this Italian. And so this Italian, I ended up finding out not only was her dad a fucking baker, he was the baker who baked all the little cookies that are saran wrapped and come with every cup of coffee that's served at every travel plaza in all of Italy. This was a chartered fucking plane from Berlin airport, Schönefeld airport out to Milan airport, no customs, no nothing, a fucking limo out to her mountain house in Crevegna, Italy, where we spent 3 glorious bloody days, and then ended up going back to Canada, and we were talking a little bit.
Hold on. I got one thing before you go on. So 3 glorious days, very important question. Did you bang her in the ass?
I don't remember, but
just lie to me, man. Lie to me. Tell me you did.
It's actually a little bit worse than that. Seeing as how I didn't mention her name, she was really beautiful and really tiny, and she had these wonderful little breasts, but she had quite long hairs coming from her nipples.
Ooh,
it was really strange.
Well,
it was hard to turn away because, I mean, in one sense, she was like, it's really something when you have a tiny girl and you're throwing her all over the place. And yeah, right. And so, but on the other hand, these hairy nipples are kind of, you're asking yourself, but it doesn't matter. Well, what's done is done.
Fantastic.
Wait. There's an important question here. All right. Do you have hairy nipples?
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
So do you ever think about, she tells this exact same story
I banged the dude from the Real McKenzies.
I invited him up, but fuck, he had hairy nipples.
I worry more about something I don't know about. You should have seen the birthmark on this guy's cock or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think she might have been telling the same exact story on her podcast.
I like to think they all are, man. I like to think they all are. We all have these wonderful little tidbits we remember.
She's like, I was trying to get this dingus to just come give me a one and done, and then I have to take him to my goddamn family's house, and then oh my goodness, his nipples were almost as hairy as mine.
And as big as saucers. I could dial a phone on his nipples. Jesus Christ.
Big baloney nipples.
Yeah, exactly. So that ended. I went back to Canada, and right at this, she ended up getting a job in New York, and she was all stoked about this job. And I sort of, this time I felt it like, okay, she's losing interest in me. She wants to go to New York, and every European in the world has a thing for big America, like New York City or like LA or whatever. So that was the direction she was going in. And as we stopped talking, I started Skyping a little bit more with the lady who would then become my wife, and the rest is history.
So wait, she's not your wife anymore, though, you said?
No, we got divorced about 5 years ago. Actually, probably one of the few divorces you might ever know where we both didn't have a lawyer, and we just gave each other our shit back and went our separate ways.
Wow. Did you ever bang her in the ass?
Yeah.
High five.
Why is that?
You can't see me right now, but high five.
Why is that your main?
It's just because it's fucking funny, man. I don't know.
All right, so
banging chicks in the ass is funny.
Have we gotten to the lowest low?
Not yet. I'm still mulling it over. How much time is left in the show? How much time do I got? I'm up against the deadline here.
You might need to pick one, and if if you don't have it, then you can always come back, dude. Like,
can we take a sidebar? I want to know about his drug stories. Do we have any good drug stories? Touring and anybody get arrested crossing the border? I don't know. I don't know what happens out there.
Who had to keister the blow?
Yeah.
It was the old bagpiper, Matt. And you know what, you guys? He used to hide it in his bag. He used to hide it in his pipe bag.
What a brilliant idea.
And just fucking sail across the border. No, it happened. It happened often when we were being checked out for drugs. The closest call that I ever had was we played Whistler. You guys ever heard of Whistler? It's north of Vancouver, a mountain town, ski town.
Absolutely.
So we played Whistler, and I wasn't drinking at the time. I drink very infrequently, and I used to drink more in my 20s, and then it sort of petered out, and then it came back, and then it petered out, but whatever. So I was doing coke, and the rest of the band was drinking, and we played this show, and I don't remember it being all that good a show, but I bought, I don't know, 6 or 8 or 12 bags of blow, and the band was drinking, and so we finished the show, and obviously it's a mountain town, so it was snowing really heavy, like the really heavy sort of mountain snow.
And we're driving down the road backstage.
In our industry, we call it a line check, but yeah. So we're driving back down the road. It was snowing really heavily, and there's a fucking car behind us, and his fucking lights, man, they're really bright, like right in my mirror, and I had been driving a truck since my 20s and sort of no stranger to the highway kind of thing. So I pulled over and let this cocksucker pass. And of course it was an RC. It was an RCMP, we call them, the federales. And so he passes by, and of course then I pull out right behind him again. So now we're the only two fucking cars on the road. We're in the big red E350 or whatever it was. And so of course he fucking pulls over and stops and gets around us again and turns his fucking cherries on right in the middle of our guitar player doing this brilliant air solo to Toto by Africa. It was really something. I was trying to pay attention to driving, and I had to ask him to be quiet a couple times. It was stellar. I mean, he had the fucking keyboard solo down and everything. It was really something. But so the cops pull us over. And I don't know what your guys' tastes are for illicit substances, but when you're this gacked out as I was, you start worrying about what's hanging from my face, what fucking bags have I left in my lap, what's all over these keys, and so he comes up to the window and he says, he asked me the obvious question, why'd you pull around? And I gave him a bit of lip, not too discourteously, but I said, well, the fucking lights are so bright. I couldn't fucking see a thing here. It's snowing out here. And I don't know if you got your high beams on, but, maybe you want to take your car back to your shop and have your highs pointed a little bit better, because they're really, I don't think any car could deal with them. So I just let you go by. And so he goes back. He said, "You've been drinking?" I said, "No, we're a band, a folk band. We always called ourselves a folk band."
Good idea.
These shows. Yeah, exactly. And he takes he said, "You've been drinking?" I said, "No, these fools behind me have, but I don't drink." And okay, so he takes my ID back. And meanwhile, he's got his fucking mag light right in my face. Like, I mean, if anybody's going to see little white nuggets of crap under my nose or something, it's going to be him with his fucking mag light. But for whatever luck of the draw, he didn't, and gave me my license back and said, "Thanks very much and have a good day." So yeah. Other drug stories you want? You mentioned, I don't know if it was on the air, but I wanted to talk about, that was a horrible experience when our fucking driver, Frida, he chopped up some salt and gave it to us to sniff up as lines of speed off a CD case.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow. Yeah. If that's getting close to a low point, that might be it, because boy, that ruined me for the next few fucking songs. I'll tell you that much.
Wait. Why did he do this? Was he just fucking with you, or was he pissed? What was this?
Fucking with us. Yeah, we were all binged out from 4 days being awake, and when you're in that state of mind, really only one thing can bring you back up again, and that's more drugs. So he was in his element as far as propositioning us with something that we really needed to keep this show going. And yeah, he chopped up some salt, and I think it was me and Bone did 2 big schnootfuls. And actually, my
is this like
future...
side stage, like middle of the show?
Oh no. Right on stage, right in the
Jesus
center of
Christ.
Yeah, it wasn't that uncommon. I mean, it kind of depends.
So who vomited?
What's that?
Who threw up?
Who puked? Yeah.
No, neither of us puked. But I'll tell you, I think if anybody came close, it was probably me. It was Bone and I who both did these 4 lines, and I didn't know what. I think Bone knew right away what happened because someone had fucked with him in this way before. But this was a very new experience to me. It was tangy like nothing I ever want to talk about again.
All right, so guys, we gotta wrap up this episode. But we're gonna go around the table. Gord, I'm incredibly excited to have you here. And I'm glad
to be here.
I feel like we're gonna have to have you back because it seems like there's a lot more.
There's a lot to go on here.
There's a lot more stories we gotta do. But real quick, we're gonna do our final thoughts, starting with Sco.
Thanks for coming on. I can't wait to hear more horrible stories about the road, which is really what I find fascinating. I think a lot of bands don't talk about this, and I know it's just constant shenanigans. Gotta be like all the big names, of course, the Metallicas of the world or whatever, the Dave Grohl type bands, whatever the fuck 7 bands he's in. There's got to be so much shenanigans that's going on. And here's this guy. What's your name again? Gord. No, I'm just kidding with you. No, I'm just fucking with him. But like a very mid-level band he's banging models on the road in Europe.
That's an awesome band.
Well, maybe, but like I don't mean that disrespectful. But he's not Metallica. You know what I mean? Imagine the shit that they're getting into, or whoever. Pick anybody that's huge.
I do want to point out, and I know this is your wrap up, but before my time, the Real McKenzies opened for Metallica in Scotland.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. But you still opened.
Still only open. Yeah.
I feel like they may have banged more hookers than Metallica.
But it's very possible. But that's what they call like what is it, like shrapnel pussy or whatever? Like you guys are like the things
collateral pussy.
Yeah, the things that Lars is throwing away, which is still 10s, probably 11s. Hey, they're going down to the Real McKenzie. Brilliant.
But,
I'll still take it. Don't get me wrong.
Lars can't get him because, he still can't get it up.
Well, pick any of those old fucks. But whoever it is, you know what I mean? Like, that's fantastic. Like, European, German models and Italian bras with hairy nipples. And
we've only scraped the surface.
Yeah, we barely. And that's why I want to know more about it, but I look forward to that someday.
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely not the last time.
There's so much gold here to be mined.
Gord, brother, I appreciate you so much. Do you have any final thoughts you want to give?
I want to say thanks. Actually, you guys, your whole fucking country had a huge day today, and you still made time for having me on. So thanks very much for that. I really was being sincere when I really dig your show, and you're absolutely right. You guys are doing something very different than everybody else, and I think you deserve a pat on the back from.
Let's give us a round of applause.
I'll even pull my own ribs out trying to suck your cock a little deeper. That I think you deserve a pat on the back, sort of on an international level. Nobody's ever done anything really like this, and there's like your show and like your what you guys create and what you do. And I think yeah, I think keep it up. I think there's a lot of little, I won't say little kids, but I mean there's teenagers and adolescents who are
hopefully
trying to figure out
kids.
what's cool and what's not cool, and you guys are helping out with that. So keep up the good work. Here's to hell. May our stay there be as fun as our way there, right?
Fucking A, couldn't have said it better myself. Cheers, brother, and we're gonna go ahead and play ourselves out.